Right, we're picking up this project with the assumption that you've made some AutoCAD blocks and you've actually dimensioned them and you've stuck them out in one drawing. And we're really not tying you to the fact of where those blocks are in relationship to each other, though I would point out that the use of sketch blocks is really where many of you want to go. In this basic, especially if you're getting parts that are going to be relating to each other with movement, it's going to be perhaps a little bit easier to manage those. I put these blocks out with no holes because we want to take advantage of using some of the commands in Inventor to get used to those. So one thing you want to do is you keep things in a project, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and new, and I'm going to do mine in English. I kind of mentioned to do them in metric, but I started this one in English, so I've got everything in inches. I'm going to remember to grab a standard part, an IPT, and now we're going to remember to put it in the right Patak Gusset is the project file that I want to do. So this is in my home drive, so I'm going to hit OK here. And I go here, I'm bringing in, starting a new part. Now that new part, you're going to see there's all kinds of different ways, but if you think about AutoCAD, anytime you see a repeating shape in AutoCAD making a block, in Inventor, anytime you see a repeating shape, you think part, if you would, and then you put them together in assembly. So what I'm going to do now that you can see the big push that we're going to let you know is we're in this initial sketch, and we're going to insert a drawing. And we remember, I hope that my drawing was not there, but it was out in the K drive is where I put it to start. And I'm not going to find the K drive. There it is. And I'll start with the one that was dimensions because that's going to work best. And I'll go back to that. I'm going to hit open here. And I'm going to go ahead, and when I bring it in, it probably brought it in. Whether or not it's going to bring it in here, you're going to then want to erase it then again off the plane, perhaps. To get used to how you can deal with sketch blocks. We're going to continue. This is at a home. I'm going to continue educational stamp. The key thing here you're going to see is about making sure that you convert your AutoCAD blocks to, right? You're going to do all, I guess, and hit all, I guess. That works for me. Total, def points, everything. And model, ANSI model. This is looking a little weird, but I'm going to go ahead and say next. You can't see it, and we want to remember that we convert the AutoCAD blocks here to Inventor blocks. And I'm kind of going down to the bottom here. I'm going to hit finish. It's going to bring in probably everything into the plane, but that's really not what we're going to want to do. You bring it here and you see it brought everything it was in. It was constrained and everything else off of some arbitrary point here, which was a 0, 0 point. So that said, I'm going to right away just go ahead and get rid of everything. I'm going across the top, and I'm right clicking and hitting delete. And we want to then realize that all of those blocks are put here, and we can just pull the blocks into our sketch. So I'm going to start here with a gusset plate. Pull it over here and drop it into that sketch. And you can see as I zoom in with the mouse, it can be a little bit problematic, I guess. But there it is. There's my 24 inches. And somehow when I did it later on, we can go ahead and change. Right now, we can go in and double click here. And I don't know, I guess I did make that, but maybe I might want to make that instead 22 inches. So that ability right away to change that sketch and change its constraints. That said, I have made essentially one part, and by going through here, this is essentially my gusset plate, and I can at this point go right click, finish sketch, and then I can hit F6 and get to this point, and at this point I can now extrude it out. Perhaps I'm going to make this 3/4. Now, one thing you might want to get used to is remembering whether it's extruding in or out. And if you think about these things coming together, it might be useful for this one to extrude coming out of the shape. Hit OK there. You have essentially for now your first part done, and you can do File, Save, or Save As if you would, and you can again give it a name. You see you're in the right spot. You can call it Gusset. Now, there are other better ways, I'm sure, to do this and save that out. You can now do File, Close, and start a new part again. New part, this time standard inches, okay. You're there. Go through the same process, though it's not, I believe, not necessary completely to do this, but it is worthwhile to kind of learn how to kind of at least get something that can manage. There are ways to build parts from within, and we will look deeper into that for those of you who are interested throughout the semester. But what I'm going to do now here is once again show you can insert, in this case it's remembering Inventor with dimension drawings. I hit open. It's going to go through that problem statement again. It's going to take a while. You want to make sure that you convert AutoCAD blocks to Inventor blocks. Continue the operation. Continue the operation. Bring it in. Once again, you can't see, but I'm pushing this down and saying next. And AutoCAD blocks to Inventor blocks. Finish here. It's going to bring it in all the way over there. We're not that interested. Eventually, we're going to change our coordinate systems. I'm deleting. Once again, now I can go to the blocks and I can pull in now the slanted. I'm going to zoom in here again, kind of weirdly. You can see that all of a sudden those distances. And what's beautiful about this, you'll see, is that point there is going to kind of carry around for later. But what we're going to do, that's carrying around in the sketch, which we've got here, we've got that kind of drafted. We're going to hit right click, finish sketch, right, and hit an F6. And once again, you do the extrude. This time we're going to make it, I think we said it was 3/4 inches, 3/4 going back, and we're going to push it this way. However, we're pushing that back. Hit OK, and our second part is done. Once again, we're now going to say File, Save As. This case, it was the, I presume this was the slanted. I'm going to put slanted here. Part numbers or whatever you're going to do, I'm going to save that part. Okay. And if I really want to double check, so that shirt looked like it was the slanted, I'm going to go File, Save As, right, and there it is, slanted. I'll put it right on top. Replace it, yes. You'll see later we'll be adding coordinate systems. I guess I can't do that, so instead I'm going to just hit cancel here. I've already saved it. I'm going to close that out, and now once again do File, New, Standard Part, and we're going to bring the last one in, which was really pretty close to the one I just did. Once again, we're in a part. We're going to insert an AutoCAD drawing. The AutoCAD drawing is the Inventor with dimensions. Open. Okay. Remember, you're going to bring in the AutoCAD blocks, and later on you'll see that there's a lot you can do from actual sketch blocks. You don't have to go through this entire process. And that's really something I'll send you out to Lynn Allen to look at. She's very good, easy to listen to, gets it in all different aspects of AutoCAD. I'm going to hit next here. And remember that hitting the AutoCAD blocks to Inventor blocks, hit finish. This is going to come in. There it is again. And in all reality, I guess we could try to do this one differently, but I'm going to not. We could actually get rid of that, right click, delete that one, get a little bit of that, right click, and delete it. And let's just kind of, I guess I'll leave it at that. That is where it is. I can now hit even this one there. I can go ahead and right click and try to delete that little piece. And I am now going to hit F6, right, which doesn't get me anything again. I'm going to go back to front. What I want to do is right click, finish sketch, and then hit F6 and go back to that concept of extrude and pushing into the board 3/4 inches, push this way, and then hit OK. And File, Save As, slanted, and I'm going to call it horizontal. And it's kind of key eventually that you keep these things all in the right spot. We're going to look at the options here. Oh, that looks okay to me. All right, horizontal.ipt, hit save here. Okay, you now have made your 3 parts. The next thing is going to be to make an assembly and then start playing around from the parts so you can line things up like holes and the like. So you have made 3 parts. Thanks for listening. We'll try to get this done in 2 more 10 minutes. And hopefully you'll be able to go to individual ones to get this to work. Thanks for listening.